Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Jerome, and welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. It has been a long time since I've made a video, probably like, what, 2 or 3 months since I've made a video, and it's been a while since I've been into Yu-Gi-Oh! Really. I've taken a break from the game. I'm still taking a break from the game, because honestly, it's just not that appealing to me anymore. It's not that fun anymore. It, to me, has lost a lot of its skill. It's became kind of like a handheld like game. Like the game itself kind of plays itself now. It really it's very hard for people to actually make somewhat of mistakes now. I like literally now I think people are making mistakes when it comes to just like, oh, I used the wrong hand trap at that time. Like literally when I hear people talk about where they went wrong when they're playing the game now is like, oh, I just messed up because I used this hand trap first and I should have used this hand trap instead. And it's just like that's how we're losing our games now. We're losing our games because we're based off of just what hand traps we're using first rather than what play that we did. It's very weird now. It's a very strange kind of game. And what I mean by like the game kind of plays itself now. There's just so many one card starters in this game now that where you really can't go wrong with how you start your play. Let's say you start with like 3 one card starters, right? And your opponent has basically 3 hand traps. Let's say you have a normal summon one card starter, another special summon one card starter, and a search one card starter, right? Let's just say you activate your first card, your search one card starter, and it gets ashed. Okay. You normal summon the other one, you activate its effect, it gets impermed. Okay. You special summon the other one, you activate its effect, it gets impermed or effect veiler. Okay. You can still just win the game easily by just turning both those into pretty much like the closed heaven chick, whatever the link to card is, and then you turn that into Requiem, and then Requiem gets your Fiendsmith card, and then you're good from there, basically. Like it's just, you see what I mean? Like it doesn't matter which of those 3 you start with, they all get you to the same thing. Let's say you take a different route. You use the special summon card and it gets impermed. You use the normal summon, it gets impermed. You use the card that searches and it gets ashed. You just do the same thing again. You link and then you go into another link, then you go into the engraver and all the other stuff. It just doesn't. You just cannot mess up now. You're being handheld. You're being guided. There's no thought process anymore. It's just vomit your hand out. If your opponent has hand traps, they're gonna vomit those out, and then you'll still be able to make a play and put up a board to where your opponent can't do nothing about it. And then you go into the next game, your opponent does it, you just go ahead and scoop, and then you go into the third game and you do it back to them and you win. There's nothing fun, appealing, or intriguing about any of that. It's just kind of whack. Like when I watched the YCS, none of it looked fun. It all looked the same. It was all boring. Like when you see the deck profiles and they're like, "Oh, I played 20 hand traps." Like that's what we're doing now in this game. We're just playing 20 hand traps. Like the skill of this game now is just what hand trap to use first. That is the skill level now. There is no like, oh, what combo should I do first? What play should I make first? Is no, what hand trap should I use first? That is the skill ceiling of Yu-Gi-Oh now, and it's not cool. It's just not appealing. It's stupid. It's boring. Like anyone can do that. Like there's no skill level in that. As I was pretty much taking a break from the game, for me the skill level was pretty much like 10%. It was like, for me, it was like 90% luck based, 10% skill. Now, since hand traps is the skill ceiling, it's looking more so like 5% skill and then 95% luck based. Like it, I'm sorry if you think that this is a very skillful game. To me, it is just not a skillful game anymore. It is all but just luck based, and that's it. If literally hand traps is defining what the skill level is, it's pretty sad. Another reason why I'm taking a good long break is because the game is like so stupid expensive, right? And the whole we were thinking that the whole reason why they're doing all these reprints is to make the game cheaper, but no, it's to give you an illusion like they're making the game cheaper, but they're really not. They're just giving you this false illusion, right? Because they really didn't make the game cheaper whatsoever. It's still expensive as ever. I think people are saying now the best deck is like $1,500 or something like that, and then like the next one after that is like $1,000, right? So you're still spending quite a bit of money to play this game at a very high level. And I know that there's cheaper options, but if you want to be consistent, obviously you got to spend the money to have the most consistency and the most strongest deck in the room. And when I look at this ban list, this is just, it's just so weird. It's so bizarre because they hit things that just don't make sense. And then they took things off the list that don't make sense. Like Gimmick Puppet Nightmare and Jowgen. I want you to be honest and tell me, have you seen anyone play Branded in the past like 3 months or however long this last ban list was in effect? Have you seen anyone play Branded? I haven't seen a single person play Branded or even talk about Branded. I haven't seen a single video uploaded about Branded. So why are these now getting banned? It's so weird. And then you get down to original Sinful Spoils being banned. Why is this just now being banned? Right? This should have been banned a while back. But we're doing this now after the reprints of everything. Right? So we made the reprints to make the game cheaper for people, just to ban one of the most needed cards for Snake Eyes, right? To now just pretty much say, hey, all those reprints don't matter anymore because now you still need to spend a lot of money to get engravers and all the other dumb shit they came out with that's super expensive. So what was the point of reprints, right? And well, what is this? Chandra, okay, that needed to be hit a long time ago to begin with. So I mean, good for them with hitting it. A Phantom of Yubel, again, this should have been hit as well in the past. I understand it was new, but still, like, this is, to me, is just too late. Like, Sangan's Kaiman, that should have been hit in the past. This, I don't even care about that. Like, and they brought back some stupid shit, like Danger. Like, who cares about any of these cards being at, like, semi-limited? It doesn't matter. If anything, I think the Pearly cards should have came off the ban list because it would have been so cool to play like full power Pearlies, right? Because hey, they got reprinted in the past and they're still on the list here, and I think that they should be off the list. I think there's way more oppressive shit out now than Pearly, right? And then opening of the Spirits Gates coming off the list. I like, what do we? You see what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't. Like, the list is stupid. The game is stupid. The card design is stupid. Their whole process of like reprints is stupid. Like, what was the point of people buying these reprints when most of them wanted to buy the reprints so they can play Snake Eyes, and then they can't even play it? I don't know how long this whole like reprint thing came out, because I've been out of the loop. Like, I don't care about any of the stuff that's coming out. I haven't looked into any of this stuff coming out. I didn't even know that what is it called? Like the overlay stuff. What is it? Ryziel? Like the new Sprite deck, apparently. I didn't even know that came out until like last week. I didn't even know that was a thing yet. And Malice, I'm thinking that's the other deck that came with it. The Link deck. It's just so bizarre, man. Like, they reprinted this whole deck just to ban, like, I think one of the most essential cards that it needs to function. I mean, I don't know if the deck can still play or not. Maybe it can. I have no idea. Like, I really don't. I have not been paying attention to this game at all, really. But it's just so weird, man. And then they make everything so expensive, and it's just hard for me to get back into the game knowing that the skill ceiling is hand trap usage and not actually playing the game. Like, it just, I don't know. Like, every now and then I wake up and I have this itch, like I want to play again. But when I look at how much it's going to cost for me to actually get a feasible deck to compete with, and I see $1,000, I'm just like, you know what? I'm good. I don't want to. Now, I know what some of you are saying. Why don't you just play like a cheaper deck or play like Edison or Go format? Look, I don't want to play Edison. I don't want to play Goat format because guess what? No one in my area wants to play that shit to begin with. So I'll be like one of the only 2 people wanting to play it. At that point, I can just go find people on Master Duel or someone that wants to do that. And I kind of don't want to do that because I'm having a lot more fun playing games like Marvel Rivals, right? I just don't really care to sit here and play in the past when I can just play something new that just came out that's actually very fun and very good. And I mean, like if I play one of these casual decks out that's right now, is like I just want to play against other casual stuff that's also out. I don't want to play against all these expensive shit. Like, I don't care about playing against Engraver.deck. Or Fiend, whatever it's called, Fiendsmith.deck. Like, I don't care about it. They all do the same thing. They all do the same combos, the same shit. They all don't. You can have as many hand traps as you want. None of it stops it. It just keeps going on and on and on. And there's no fun in that. Like, I went to my locals not to play, but just to watch for like an hour, and it was just so. It was so just like, eh. You know, there's nothing fun about that. It was just like, bro, like you can have 5 hand, you can open up 5 hand traps and then want to have stopped this dude's turn. 2 years ago, I got back into Yu-Gi-Oh 2 years ago, and that was probably the best time, one of the best times I've ever had playing Yu-Gi-Oh, because the game for me was actually fun and balanced at that time. It started to go downhill when Power of the Elements came out, because that was when like 1-card combos started to appear in the form of like Mathemix Circular, right? And you know, Sprites kind of were doing it because they came out with Starter and it was a 1-card combo. And then Tier Limits came in with like the Ishizu cards, and then that was like its own thing. And then Cash was right around the corner. And it just became like a snowball effect. And then the last time that this game was actually fun, and in my opinion the most balanced, was actually January of this year. The very beginning of this year was probably the most balanced this game has been in a long time, because that was when everything was kind of like properly hit. And at that time, I think people would say that the best deck was like Rescue Ace, but honestly the best deck was Labyrinth. And people were just, you know, we just didn't know at that time. But if that format stayed around a lot longer, we would have saw that Labyrinth was like the best deck and it was unmatched. But we just didn't have the time to prove it, right? We only had that 1 month, so you just saw everyone sticking to the same deck, which was Rescue Ace. And yeah, it was short-lived, 1 month, and then we got Snake Eyes, and it just went all downhill from there. And it's just been a shitty year, right? So I don't know. I do have the itch to play again, but it just sucks because I don't want to spend $1,000 to do so. And yeah, that's basically where I've been at with this game. It's just unappealing. No skill, really. The design is pretty shit. The balancing is pretty shit. I don't know. I'll maybe pop up at the locals here and there, play some wacky deck that I just made up. Maybe it'll work, maybe not. I don't know. I'm kind of glad that the regionals got canceled in my area, because it would have been a huge waste for me to go anyway. So I'm glad that got canceled. It got pushed back to another date that I for sure won't be able to make it on, so I'll miss that. But yeah, that's where I'm at with this game. Let me know where you are with Yu-Gi-Oh! If you taking a break or whatnot. I'll be glad to read your comments and all that kind of stuff. And I will catch you all in the next video if I do make another video here soon enough, or maybe not. But yeah, peace out.